It looks like sound is okay. And
Everything is alright. Yes.
katsotaan, mä en tiedä.
Hello. Good morning, everyone. Can I have your attention, please? First of all, thank you very much for coming over. It's quite early. Thank you. I see quite many of you here, so we are about to start, and we can put the presentations. We're going to start like in 3 minutes with the official program, and welcome everyone. My name is Oleg Pali, and I'm CEO and founder of Games Factory Talents. We are nominee for the Best Games Industry recruitment by the Poker Gamer. And we have been organizing these job fairs and events since 2018 as a company. We gathered over 50,000 new developers, over 100 studios participated in our events, and many of them, I'm sure you recognize the logos. What is the plan for today? I just wanted to give you like a quick brief. So we will have the presentations and the talks like happening here. Then we have CV portfolio reviews happening on the back. You can go to the back and see the rooms. If you got the spot assigned, please be there on time. Career zone, if you were booked, if you booked the one-on-one interviews, it's happening there. What we're gonna do is the Finland Great Place to Work and Gaming Awards later on today. We will have the networking after the official part of the talks is over with that, and we will have to wrap up around 5 o'clock. And with that being said, let me introduce you the first speaker, Tim Park, coming over from all the way from Korea to tell us about.
So Kitos Oleg for inviting me to this beautiful and peaceful Finland. I used to live in Finland before, so I love to be back.
Okay.
So, and then I will share my thought today, but that doesn't mean what I'm saying is right or wrong actually, because AI is very infant stage or early stage of development. So that we saw that the ChatGPT, so the generative AI came, and then you go out to people. And then we saw the DeepSeek and we saw the Gemini stuff so fast. And then we saw actually the agent AI. So it seems like AI is coming so fast with something new, valuing our lives. And it seems like there is no limit for the opportunity, right? How about threat by AI? Is there a limit or unlimited? I'm not giving an answer to this one, but we might need to think about that one, right? And then AI is not the first disruptive innovation we are experiencing in human beings. We experience a lot of different disruptive innovations. When industrial revolution happened, starting with Britain, right? Our life has been changed, our lifestyle has been changing. The new job created for manufacturing, big labor force is needed. So city urbanized actually, right? And then we started having more income, and then we started having the better life. But at the beginning, if you think about it, in the industrial revolution time, it was not only opportunity. We had big pollution, urban crime, those threatened at the same time and challenges. And then we have a lot of times have innovations. For instance, car, airplane, internet, mobile phone, all those change our lives. For instance, before the internet, our working hours 9 to 5. After going to work, out to work and going home, it didn't work at all. But internet worked after working on home. So we was working at home only. On mobile phone brought, we're working in the train and everywhere, right? So it changed our lifestyle. And AI as business innovation, it will change our life. There is a commonality in the disruptive innovation is whenever new coming, speed was faster. And AI is fastest speed ever we have and human being face. But faster speed have also problem as well, because it's difficult to adjust. But anyway, think about what AI brings now. We don't know what will happen in the future. We're forecasting a lot. Which way will go, we don't know. But we already experience AI technology. Some country blocking the semiconductors to the other country to block the intelligence of AI from the other country, for instance. Vibe coding just started. We love vibe coding. We don't know what vibe coding is even, right? But some industrial magazine like the Medium last week was talking title, vibe coding is dead. And a lot of experts say the vibe coding is dead. Because why? When we vibe coding, oh, I didn't study computer science, I just put in the word I want. Oh, that's great, fantastic. But the others say, well, there's the security problem, there is no scalability, compliance problem, a lot of problems happening with the vibe coding, and wow, I create app with the vibe coding. Yes, from my friend created immediately within 1 hour. So I cannot use vibe coding for my own startup business because there is zero entry there, right? So kind of opportunities like a threat at the same time is we are confused, right? However, anyway, we know actually agent AI really do. In our game industry, personalized gameplay will be possible to customize for each of the gameplay. So AI seems like a both opportunity threat at the same time. How about question of the society and our organization, company, right? So that if you think about before the industrial revolution, our structure, social structure was the pyramid shape. Where the king and small number of ruling people were the old people of the public. And after the industrial revolution, middle class emerged. And they shaped the country diamond shape. One should be middle class. But AI, why will we change it? They start to lay off people. Right? People are losing the job. Middle class are losing the job. Are we going back to the medieval kind of the township structure? How about audience structure? Currently, most of companies' audience structure is what? Pyramid shape, right? CEO, mid manager, workers, below. But now, companies are not hiring junior anymore. We are already teaching our audience structure as the diamond shape model. So, social and audience structure is changing as well. How we can adjust? Current leadership in the organization will be working same as the diamond shape. If we even change, we will be facing the change we never had before. So we are in the very early stage in the AI development, and we are adjusting or adapting AI really fast nowadays. According to the MIT, one of the well-known universities in Boston in the US, their research is saying actually 95% of the corporates try to do the AI into their complete fail already. Why the reason? Because we have FOMO, fear of missing out. Right? Every C-level board of directors of a company knows I have to do with using the AI for my company. Otherwise, they are be not competitive enough. So they do something, but they fail. According to MIT, they said the reason is two. One is lack of strategy. Even the business leader doesn't want to do it, but they just do it. You know, because it's so, I have to do it now. Right? Surely it will fail. Second, because of legacy problem. Because our old the structure, the old data structure and system structure is not so well done for the AI integration yet. When you try to the AI, first problem is data actually you're facing. Your old data structure is not harmonized and standardized. It's really difficult to do AI to use, especially before that. So we are not ready yet what we want to try to do, and we don't know what we want to do actually. And then there is a lot of problems happening, like the IP protection we are wondering about, security problem we are wondering about, and then game industry talking about the games law. And then they write, it's so easy to create any kind of content. So now this is a situation. So many content is coming in. Is it going to say this is human created AI created? So many things. So for me, it's very easy to create content by AI, but it's not what we need. All the other UI, UX designer can create content so easily. Not only that one, non-UX and UI designers, normal people can create content like me. So competition even here, even worse. And then how about investment environment? We think about the venture capital situation. In 2004, autumn, it collapsed. So 2004, 2005, investment went down and down compared to previous years. However, venture capital industry acquired or accumulated biggest amount of funds ever in human history. So they had money in the pocket. But they didn't invest it. That's why we call it dry powder in the finance industry. But year 2006, this year, investment coming in. The venture capital is much more than before now. Well, it sounds like good, so I can start a startup. Unfortunately, investment amount increased sharply, but number of investment decreased. Why it means investment is big, even small size. It's patient. He wants it a lot, it's more difficult. And our economy is going to grow as the patient growth. It's polarizing more and more. So it's more difficult to enter because of the entry barrier of technology is low, investment for this localized and worse and more difficult. So every single day nowadays, I'm getting questions. Yesterday as well. Which type of AI will be dominant in the future? Right? We have the agent AI. Because think about it, 2 years ago, generic AI went huge. Wow. Now, who is talking about generic AI is the dominant for the future? Nobody. Right? We are talking about the generic AI, model AI, and all those things already start to provide value to us. And we think, wow, this works. Speed is so fast on development of all those different types of AI. At this moment, it's not really meaningful to guessing what is good. In the early stage, we will read. That's what we saw from the end of disruptive innovation. So current situation, as the like we experienced before, any disruptive innovation, situation is very highly uncertain and turbulent. And the most uncertain and turbulent ever in human history are facing. Not only AI has the newest disruptive innovation, and every disruptive innovation has newer ones, which is even further uncertain. Now we don't have part of persecution as well. We have Trump and war, so they acknowledge uncertainty and part of uncertainty and economic uncertainty at the same time. So we are in the very uncertain and turbulent situation we are facing for any point. So in this time, for me, it's better, right? When you have finance investment, when uncertain time was reached, instead of choosing one, diversify the portfolio. Same time, when certain is uncertain situation, it's better not to forecasting. If your forecasting is wrong, probability for your forecasting device is very low, even you are smart as so in this time, you have to adjusting how I can survive or win this turbulent situation. Then what you need to do is actually you have to learn fast and change yourself. If you stay as it is now on the changing environment, you cannot win. So you have to change and adapt to you and then implement. But unfortunately, it's not linear. It's a software. Implement, again, learn again. And then going through and through and through. So So actually, this is time, and how you learn actually here. You're not learning by watching the YouTube or anything. This change time, you have to act actually. Learning by doing.
Listen.
Best failure, what we call this earlier. Best failure is the best one for your success. Don't think, just do and fail and learn and do, fail and learn. They will provide actually big learning to you, individual as well as organization. There is terminology calling in the business academic world as learning organization. That doesn't just learn only, there's a lot of change effects. So there will be, you guys have to define an organization or individual. What are the opportunities in strategy like that? If you see from the previous slide, the MIT research is saying that actually operate better because of lack of strategy. No direction they define. Define your direction clearly. I want to decrease the cost. That's my direction. I want to increase my productivity or improve the workflow. That's my direction. And think, how can do with AI? And a lot of times, the people ask me, which one is the best one? Android, ChatGPT, or the Gemini? My answer, try both. Because of the 2 years ago, I was thinking, wow, Microsoft, yeah, that's why I have invested in ChatGPT. And then when the DeepSeek came, doing investment to Shanghai Stock Exchange. And then last year during Christmas time, wow, Gemini is improving so fast. Okay, but I saw the Google share, I have to buy the Google share back. And this year, I'm hoping, wow, that's the one I have tried. Time is fastly changing. We don't know who will be dominant winner. It's popular fun. Try all. This time, this is better, but 3 months later, we don't know. I have the mix. I have been attending one seminar organized by the Google Global R&D for the AI. And his presentation was something like this. My presentation is based on what I got from yesterday. During my flight, I don't know what my team and Gemini has been developed. So this is wrong already. But at least this is right from yesterday. So even people inside of the big corporate doing their work doesn't know what will be happening. So fast speed is too fast for us to adjust. So this is time, actually, we have to become the organization that we can learning organization. And individual ourselves, we have to don't afraid of the failure, try and do and learn. And that's the time we need to do it. And if we do it that way, actually, our individually and our corporate organization, we can grow and scale and win. So this is time. It's not the time for you to be smart. You need to be wiser. Then you will win. Thanks for listening to me. And then I think that there is better one. Usually that's the worst one in the beginning. So let us find later. You have much better one. Okay? Enjoy that. I'll be here around. I'll be very happy to talk with any of you who want to talk with me. Or if you are busy and you have to leave, you can contact me digitally as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
You'll be better.
Lina, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Oleg. Yes, good morning to everyone. Thank you. So, how to make AI your superpower, how to actually use it. This is going to involve some very practical tips on how we do things with well, you might know the company as Excel Rapid, but as I'll explain, we are kind of a rebranding. First, I'm going to tell shortly about my own background, and then I will talk about how we use AI in production, on like building the product, and then what it means if you have AI inside your product for the product's users. And then as a bonus, I will touch upon AI agents a little bit. So first about my background. I've been in the gaming industry for over 20 years now. I started as a programmer, so I have a technical background, but I founded my first own game studio in 2010, which was acquired in 2015 by a company then called Ringo. And then already 2017, we founded Big Sale Interactive. But now, within the past year, we've been, you would say, pivoting in the startup terms. And what we do now is Playables AI. And this is the most advanced tool on the market to do playable ads with AI. So very happy to talk about that more if anyone's interested. But this is kind of currently our key product and focus. So AI introduction. I will go through these 5 different areas and give like at least one kind of actionable tip. Maybe you are doing it already, maybe you are not, but kind of things that have been elevating our production. So first off, marketing. We have a one-person marketing team, and I don't think Kara would mind that I say that she's not a technical person, she's not a coder, but she's now handling also our website. So the full scale of it, like making the idea of like what should be on the website, making it happen, testing it, deploying it, and measuring it, analytics, and then circling back. So what's the tech setup here? So she's using Claude inside VS Code, then GitLab with source tree, and then the website goes to AWS. So these are very technical things. That pipeline was set up by our CTO once in the beginning, so she has a button to press to put the website live and so forth. But actually, there's no need for other intervention or like she can just run with it. And now that it's already connected to the analytics as well, which is a part of the process that Claude is also adding those analytics and helping her to do that. So we get like a weekly report on what works and what doesn't in a very nice graphical format. So actually, not only is the process now like easier to handle, it's one person, it's faster, more convenient, but it's also more quality. Like we didn't used to have this much like nicely visual reporting on different sections of our website on what works and what not, because these reports are just so easy to get from the AI. So obviously, marketing uses AI in other parts as well, but this is something that has been, I guess, the biggest change in our process regarding marketing. Then let's go to sales. This is my territory. So sales is usually a lot about communication. So since we are in B2B, our platform is LinkedIn. Maybe your platform is Discord or Reddit or something else, wherever you have to be kind of communicating a lot. So what I did is I took a Claude connector and connected it to Slack. And I bet I wasn't the first one to do this, because when I was asking it to kind of like, hey, I want to connect you to Slack to get ideas for my LinkedIn post, it actually had these pre-made questions ready for me. Like, okay, so what kind of LinkedIn content are you interested in? Where should I look for it in your Slack? And how long time since that the news has arrived? And it was all like super convenient and quick to set up. And now I get these suggestions, because that's the problem with like creating a lot of content is the empty box problem. I'm like, I have this box, I know I should say something, I don't know what to say. So I don't let the AI to write it for me. Like I go personal to LinkedIn and I write my stuff. But this helps a lot to get the ideas on like, okay, actually, yeah. And it's so nice to work with AI, like it's saying things like, your company has a lot of interesting things, and I found all these things. Yeah. So yeah. And there's actually a nice bridge here to my next slide, because one thing that is suggested was to talk about our programming win. So let's go there. Programming. So one trick that we did. This is from GitLab, where the section where you can set up a new pipeline. So we have this setup where you can actually input a prompt. And one of my co-founders wrote this sentence: make an issue for adding WoW and WoW2 support, add the support and create an MR. So these are different font types. So there's a small request to add this font type support for the product, and MR is a merge request. So what it did is actually it went, it created that ticket, that there's a task for this. It executed the task, and then it made a merge request that completes the task. And then the only thing that the human had to do is go and look at the merge request, make a code review, and test, and then publish it. So okay, this doesn't work for all features. Like this is kind of a teaching on like how to do things super quick. But the good thing here is that the AI is following the same human process. It's trackable, it's measurable, there's tickets for it, so you can follow up like what's kind of happening. And once you make this this integration, then you can use it for tasks like this. All right, management. So management is a lot about Google Sheets or Excel sheets. There's a lot of data you are doing. I wouldn't trust your kind of cash flow analysis, for example, for AI, or like AI asking AI, or like what's our runway, or this kind of things. But when it goes especially to projections and planning, it's a super good tool, because what previously took tedious Excel calculations, you can now just spar with this time is ChatGPT. And I don't want to advertise any model more than others, like ChatGPT, Claude. Those are the two ones that we use mostly. But so yeah, I was sparring with like different pricing models, business models, and like, okay, so how many customers, what kind of segments, and it's all super quick, and you can get it into a sheet, and then of course you can have the console in the sheet as well. But this is very quick. And I would say this probably goes closest to game design. I don't have a design slide here, but if you are designing also your games economies, I bet there's a lot of help you can get. I mean, and it's great, especially with the sales kind of pricing things. It has a lot of benchmark data, so you can also kind of get that view into it. Yes. Okay. Art and graphics. This is kind of the hot potato. I mean, this is why there's I guess so much objection for like nobody should touch AI. But if you think of the previous one, marketing, sales, management, coding, your audience doesn't even know if you're using AI there. And I don't think would they care if your coders are coding faster because they are AI. I don't think that's the problem, but the problem is here, like how does it visually look? And of course, there's art types like demo, mood, placeholder art, but these are not visible to your audience. So they wouldn't know if in the brainstorming phase that you are using it. You should also consider your audience. Like if you are building a game, for like my mom plays a lot of puzzle games. I don't think she would care if there's AI. I don't think, even if she recognizes that there's AI, she would be happy to play the game if it makes her happy, and it's kind of something that she finds engaging. So there are certain audiences that are, I mean, as we know, like less less enthusiastic about having AI. But I think whether you use AI or not, you still need human to drive the vision. I mean, you need that unique soul. You need something that sets your game apart. The vision, the graphic, the mood of it. So that needs to come from human in my mind. And still that you direct the process for sure. Okay, so AI inside the product. So for us, this is an example from our tool. So if you're building tech and tools, you need to take this into consideration that tools used to look like drop downs, menus, buttons, clicking, sliding, putting in parameters, typing, and that's not the usability that users are now expecting. They are expecting to be able to prompt and talk to your software. So this is kind of transition that we've done, that we used to have editors that you kind of manually control. We actually still have them, so you could do that, right? But mainly like they are getting obsolete by the AI interface where you can just talk. I mean, if it takes a user 2 days, for example, or even 1 day to learn your tool, it's too long. They don't have that time. Now it needs to be instant. Like I just tell the tool what to do and it happens. And this is going to be a big thing with gaming and all kind of graphics tools that we are still mainly using. But if they don't kind of get this level of easiness of use, they'll be disruptive, I would say, pretty soon. And then the other part is like, if you have AI in your product, do your users actually use it? So in the sense that UGC, for example, user-generated content. If your users can, with AI, generate content in the game without you viewing it, there's obviously a few issues to consider. One is the legal responsibility. So if you are, like, for example, Roblox, and you have people generating games with AI to your platform, and they generate something that is legally explicit, it doesn't have to be an IP infringement, it could be something offensive, something that creates legal trouble. Can you say that, hey, what is the platform? It's up to the user who generated the content, or is it something that is truly your IP game? And I would consider like who's responsible for the generated content, because there will be potentially issues with legal things. And then obviously the big thing is who makes the token cost. So if there's a UGC where players can generate content on the fly, it gets expensive with the LLMs. So to make your game profitable, obviously that needs to be taken into account in the pricing. Okay, so then the kind of final bonus part. So I'm sure there are people in the audience who've done more agents than I have, and probably in the further talks I saw there's something coming specifically about agents. But I think for me, like what I want to do here is a little bit demystify this, because it's such a big hype. And I know there's also people in the audience who probably have not done an agent yet, like you haven't created one yourself. So what is it about really? I mean, first of all, the line between what is an agent is a bit blurry. Like for example, with the coding examples, where we have an automated pipeline that generated the ticket and did it, is that an agent? Maybe that's an agent, that's kind of agentic engineering, or is it just an automated pipeline? I mean, what do you call an agent? It's, if somebody has a definition, let's see if we hear it later today, but I think it's a little bit blurry. It's these individuals that you can kind of, individuals like these bots you can kind of put into tasks. And how do you create one? So again, unfortunately, again, like I'm not using Claude, but Claude just, Anthropic just released recently this quick start on how to create an agent. And this is the easiest way to create an agent that I've found so far. So you have these templates, or like you want to have this kind of agent, or this kind of agent, or you can type, or like, okay, what do you want your agent to do? So here again, the user interface to create this is also getting super easy. So I was just typing again about LinkedIn. I wanted to have an agent that monitors LinkedIn activity, or like if there's interesting articles happening, I get notified that hey, this is relevant to me. Go and check it out. And after one prompt, I have the agent and a few more steps, and it was actually working. So it's not that hard. If you are interested, go and create an agent. It did start to give me call the last step. It was wanting me, it was directing me to integrate my agent to an existing app. And it was starting to give me code how to integrate. And I was like, all right, I just want to use it. And so I can just use it on the platform. I don't have to integrate it. But yeah, I mean, this is the thing with AI often, that it starts just like magical, super easy, and then step number 5, do this code thing. And if you're not a coder, you are in the management or or marketing, that starts to feel scary. But yeah, it's not really, you don't have to do the last step. You can just keep using the agent on the platform, and it works for you. So demystifying this, it's not something weird. It's just automated tasks bots you can do, and it's getting so easy to do that as everything is getting easier. Exactly on time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sabina. And we will have the panel after this, so just keep your questions there. And I want to welcome our next speaker. Dennis, please.
Hello guys, hello. So software exchange again, and this is the way where we live now. And so who I am? I'm founder of one intelligent company, 20 years of experience, a lot of enterprise grade projects and blah blah blah. But I wanted to share like where I started, like more than 27 years ago. It's here 97, by the way. I become a student of artificial intelligence department, and then I came to my grandma in countryside, which has a black TV, and she have a mechanical clock. Do you know what is mechanical clock? It's like the way you need to put a weight, and it's moving down, and the clock tick tock, and then she asked, "Okay, Dennis, what you are studying?" And I say, "Okay, how to explain to you? You see this TV, but it's become more smarter. How it can be smarter? It's just a box." So, and for me, I feel that we live somewhere in this kind of situation that in front of us something which we not fully recognize what it is, but regardless, do you want it or do you not? We are coming there. And the progress, like probably I started with this software 1.0. Like we've been in software 1.0 like for a very long time. So where you got to do the long application, you do a lot of the code, you do some check, if then it's a huge, massive approach. And to be true, when I already started studying, we already have the software 2.0. I don't know when do you reach to programming machine learning. It's already for a long time. But then it's like you get a data set and you train the model and you get a new model, and it's become a kind of a new software paradigm. Even if for a long time, I will say in the reality it's become like maybe like 50 years ago, 10 years ago, when it's a huge massive run. And accidentally, like a few years ago, we get LLMs. So where you do not need to program, you just say, "Hi, I need a program." And here you are the programs, and it just works. How it works, nobody knows, but it's there. So, and English, like it's really become a natural language. And what we should think about, it's kind of electricity. It's do have extremely high topics, like none of us it's really able to build all the level. Like you need to be extra rich, extra smart, and you need to have a lot of resources to do, and a lot of it. So, but then it's like OpEx. It's self-intelligence over AI, or API. It has middle access. If you have no internet or no AI, some organization can be screwed. Like I hear today a stuff that okay, you can just press a button and it goes. Like what if it's just switch off? Like people will start screaming. It's like become really like electricity, and you can switch between different models. And it's sometimes it's looking like you can get a lot of people who work in the industry for 20 years. Each can be changed just with surviving with one cool guy who just does the prompting and voila. But is it really so? So we quite oftenly forgot what's the limitation. Like we go to AI and we all adopters. I'm sure that everyone of us is really adopters of AI and use it in daily life. And sometimes, as long as you use the product, as more we become less rational. And because it's a huge potential. It's super smart. Like you never can be smart as an AI, but then you ask some question, which I, for example, did 2 days ago about the cloud, and it's like Rain Man. By the way, it's a very good movie. Like it just lost it. And I have to do it again myself. But no problem. Like we just need do not need to forget about it. Then it's like, about hallucination, 5 minutes, very obvious. Then it's sometimes it can be judged intelligence. And it's extremely hard to find out. Like I see one of my friends, she do a balance sheet and it's look like perfect, and all the final numbers as well is perfect, but then it's very good that other friends go and look into the details and they find out that some numbers has been shifted, even the total result was kind of perfect one. Then it doesn't really remember well. It remembers something like your profile stuff, and they can use your token, but there's no way, at least for now, that LLM can study something, and it become like otherwise very good. Feel like 50 per state, like you wake up every day and you have a new fresh life, and you're very happy with that. You cannot get it as really your training, which you can train and which run this. Yes, you can improve the prompt, but still, it will not be a training, and we should really realize. And this is, I find out myself that sometimes, should I put this document in LLM or not? Maybe it will not steal the personal data. And they say, oh, maybe, but maybe it will. And this is coming back to the traditional coding we are avoiding. Like sometimes we can get a first perfect result. Perfect result is, for example, Lovable. I use it Lovable for a prototype. It's like extremely good. But then I have another friend who says, "Oh, I have so nice way with the product. I just did it with Lovable. I wanted to have it into production. What should I do?" I say, it's not so easy. Like, and we should not forget that behind the scenes there are a lot of stuff we should take care about, and each of the stuff can be optimized with AI. But AI cannot replace it, never. And AI should be always released. Like, we should not forget about, like, if your organization, what's the ethic policy? If your employee should as well remember about the policy, government,
Siellä ei ole mitään, millä säätäisi.
guardrails. And what the
Tossa on
future
tommonen,
solution is,
se on
we want
koko
to
ajan
have a
niin kato
future
ihan
solution where
täysin.
you have the AI, and then we still need security,
laski jo vähän, mutta
integration,
toista voi
security
laskea
data
niin,
storage certification. This is also product which are coming.
vai näkyykö se siinä?
Like
Siinä
one of the best way, like we
Mä oon
see
kuullut
now, it's like enterprise low code where you have all
Se,
together, so it means
siinä
that
ei
you
ole
get
mitään
a
muuta kuin joku
and
noise
you get, for
cancellation.
example,
Katoppa,
security,
sen voi klikata.
the certification, the integration out of the box. And we run, like, it's one of the example, like, we've been running this as a project, and we find out that, like, vibe coding is perfectly good, but it was like at least twice times faster. And when you develop, you always find a niche project to do. Like, for example, the vibe coding, perfect. Like, if you do the prototyping, do not do any, and even you sometimes do not need to people. Just go to Lovable and create a prototype. Then, when you already know what you need to do,
If it's
probably
Roland,
it's time to go to enterprise
sound,
code where
not
you
your
can
computer.
get unbelievable speed and you have a commons and very low complexity. But sometimes you really need a traditional developer, like the coding developers, like high performance, some extensions. In the gaming, it's quite often that you really need a normal development.
Not speaker, microphone.
Yeah, it looks like I'm done with this one, so.
since we don't publish our games currently ourselves, so we just provide the tool, and it's mainly used for playable ads, which obviously are mini games, that they are small games, those ads as well. But then it is up to the company who's using it. And usually, actually, you would use our tool with existing assets, so you don't have to like protect the graphics. If you have your game's assets, that's what you feed the tool, and that's what then gets used. So yeah, I think that way we're kind of like dodging the question.
Yeah, I agree with this side actually, but some people that they 100% rely on the AI for creation, and it's different issue. But anyway, the AI, the copyright law is the evolving as well. The current copyright law in the public data correctly was in the model, so you have to follow the evolving law changes. U.S. law currently in AI law doesn't allow you to if you have 100% your created by AI. But the EU, we don't know how we do. US will change law, we don't know. China will change what we do, we don't know. But if you're using your existing material, and then there's whatever, current US law allowing copyright only by you. But current US law, AI law, they have you now, is that they 100% everything done by AI, they don't give. Not only for the images, but for the music.
I have the next question, Dennis, and for you, you mentioned this vibe coding, and we see more and more companies use it, fast prototyping, even build a product, but nobody really understands what's there behind. So it's like a black box. So what do you think, how to prepare for, or what the company should do to really prepare for that maintenance, avoid the tech debt, and things like that when they use vibe coding?
For me, actually, person like me, who is not the software engineer, I love vibe coding because I just say what I'm saying and then creating apps. Vibe coding is great. But in corporate-wise, vibe coding has a limitation because its scalability or security or compliance is limited to speed. However, person like me, right, a normal person, consumer, customer, or business people have idea to testing that either works or not, to creating the early stage in the beginning, idealization, prototype. Perfect, actually. It's easy. Testing in the market, testing in the customer is easy. It's proven. Then passing to the engineers to scale up. It's easy for engineers. When I'm telling the idea only, they cannot be doing out. But when they have some working prototype of the real app, for them to creating the solution based on the what I'm visualizing is much easier. So for me, usually in the front side. So vibe coding has a limitation and advantage as well. So full code had advantages. The full code, right? If I have to creating my early stage test environment by full code, very costly, very time consuming, and I cannot do. I need engineers to do, right? So in between the existing actually, so vibe coding can be helping to moving to the better business in the future, but it doesn't provide scalability. It's limited one. So using the utilizing web code is what you want to use.
Yeah, I think there's a separation of like using it as AI is coding or what's kind of vibe coding. We are like truly vibe coding only the website, and that there's no link to our product. With our product, AI does most of the code, but it's all getting a human review. So we code review all the code that gets into the main product, and so I don't think that's really vibe coding. There's always like a human oversight. But then obviously the product itself is a vibe creation platform. But this is how like we want to maintain a high quality and how kind of like the product needs to do what it's asked to do. So to keep like a really coherent structure for the AI to wipe around, we are very strict that there's that the code gets approved by human that goes into product.
Yeah, how you tell that vibe is perfect for a prototype. Okay. Usually we do now like vibing for a prototype. It's perfect. Well, sometimes we go Figma, sometimes we go not going to Figma. Then we use like few tools in the enterprise low code. Unfortunately, Microsoft, I don't really understand the vision of Microsoft that they still for the ages they did not create a good tool to do the low code. Like these power-ups, it's good, but then it's good if you're like inside of the department. You cannot, for example, do the banking for example, in the power-ups. Then if you go, like, for example, OutSystem, Neptune, there are a few other good stuff in enterprise low code where you can even connect the MCP to create your business models. You can reuse a lot from the Lovable or from the Figma, and then your engineers approximately do the, I will say it's new way of the traditional development, when you do not really program, but you, like, because engineers, it's not about the programming. Engineers, what I know, it's one of the best mind in our planet. They're so smart, and sometimes it's really stupid because then when the so smart brains doing use them. So and when they can do much more, and for example, enterprise low code, it's extremely good way for you to grow, and sometimes you connect with the traditional and do some extension and put it inside.
Then my next question would be actually, what do you think how the companies should maybe adopt AI in a secure way then in their environment?
Okay, yeah.
For me, actually, the current AI has a security problem, actually. So
I can
don't
do
use the
anything.
AI for the tool for your
But our sound is
corporate
good,
work,
but
actually. You have to be limited, actually.
Probably.
So as I said just before, right, our coding is good for experimental one, but calibrated problems. So use the low code, one
We have
full
to
code, that's
stop
on the base what you can have.
record.
So that way, actually,
lunch
you
break.
have to utilize which part of the your
try it and
business
try
will
it
be
and try
benefited
it.
by AI, and then the which part of your business security is quite important. Then don't allow AI.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, that's why it's poor.
No, it depends a lot on where, which section and what are you
Yeah,
using
this
it
is
for.
pretty-
I remember the first time we took in use a meeting recording AI that was recording the meetings and giving us notes. One of our team members actually had a talk with the CEO of the company to get like a person-to-person verification. You are not like using our confidential meeting data for anything, right? And now that's become like so common, like, you know, a lot of these meeting softwares like offer that as a in the box already, or like you get the summaries. But like, yeah, sometimes you go at the length to kind of verify that some program that you are using actually is as secure as they claim, to make sure that it's okay to use. But yeah, it depends on like what data are you giving it and what kind of what are you processing with the AI. Like sometimes if you are planning for social media posts, some of that is not very confidential and it's going out anyways. So it depends. Yeah.
Like in here, I will say it's very good experience from the Finnish Kela when they try to use AI for the recognition of the crowd, and it did not really give a quite good result. So it means that like if you really need to put a private data for the recognition, just create your own on-prem llama and train it. The result will be not so good as with, for example, Claude or ChatGPT, but still it's okay. Like if you need to pass huge amount of the personal data, and then you can just destroy this data. So it means that you need to control where the data has been processed. Never leave the data to the cloud. I think it's no go to process the data of the cloud. If you really need to process the data, think about your on-prem installation. Then no personal data, never to the LLM. Like one of the good approach, like you can ask the LLM that, okay, I need to get this report and I need to have this data. Can you please create for me the script which will go into my company into my data structure and extract for me the data and show it to me. So it means that the data not leaving to LLM. You just instruct what your data look like and what you want to get. So it means that it's possible you will get not exactly what you need. So, but you can improve the whole. But it's important the data never leaves. Guardrails is extremely important in the processing of the data with LLMs. Never forget.
I want to ask one more question, and then I would like to get the questions from the audience. So, how do you guys see, how can I use AI for my company, or how should I use AI for my company? Let's say any company, the new company that gets this started.
Yeah, I guess whenever there's like a tedious, repetitive job that you keep doing and you keep also sometimes pushing back because like, oh, I don't want to do it. You know, look for ways to optimize and automate those so you can focus on the high value things, the innovations, the vision, and yeah, the cool stuff that you anyways are more passionate about probably.
Our request two things. First one, set the goal, what you wanna achieve, and then choose the AI. That's the one.
It's actually very good. Ask the AI tips on what to do.
No, I don't wanna do that one actually, because then you become the AI tool, not the I use AI as tool. So that the one you need to do first, and then second one, don't try fully at the beginning, because of there will be something you didn't know will be happening actually can be. And then don't rely on everything on the AI that much. I saw the news today actually. They use the AI, company use the AI for everything, and then supply chain management. So when the volume going down, automatic order by AI everything, and then run. And then the hacker came in actually, and then there was rule everything. The permission required from manager for every purchase, blah 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 documentation. Actually, hacker avoid that one, so no permission required, and then hackers start to buy and get the money from the bank automatically, actually. So risk is high at this moment because it's early stage of AI development. So don't fully rely on AI. Don't trust the AI will do for everything for you. You should use it as an AI tool, not become the tool of AI.
Yeah, I definitely agree on that. I mean, I was talking earlier about this, like for example, like forecasting, modern management models, and these kind of things. And if you ask from the AI to like, okay, create this model for me and make an iteration, or let's change this, and then a week later you get an innovation on like, hey, why don't we think about this way? And then the AI goes, oh, that's a brilliant idea. So don't trust that the AI actually gave you the ideas, so that the vision, the real innovations and the ideas come from you, and the AI just kind of executes the models and shows you the different paths, and yeah, it is very helpful, but it's still a tool that you are using.
Yeah, and do remember that AI is a just statistical mathematical instrument, and if you remember the statistics show you the median, the best possible result where something is gathering, is there any errors in your data. The same is happening here. You never get 100% sure that AI gave you perfect answer. But for example, in the testing, I think it's a very good tool. Like if you can improve your testing, for sure use AI for the testing. Do not too much rely on AI in the code creation, because even with the code review still, sometimes people get a bit blinded, especially when you do the review number 25 or 125. You tend to accept what AI do. Do not be a tool, use AI as a tool.
Thank you. I would like to get the questions now from the audience, both the speakers and the panelists.
Thank you for the interesting discussion. What you should not use AI for? Are you afraid that AI will make you kind of less capable if you use too much of it? Then the expertise will be reduced, and you can't personally work with AI at all. So my parallel is the cell phones. It makes people's attention spans short, and it makes people less capable. Does AI have the same risk in your opinion?
Yeah, sure. You should keep kind of activating your brain. Sometimes, like if I'm driving, I don't look at the map. I'm like, we're in Helsinki. I know where that is. I need to know the route. Or I've gone there like 3 times this week already, and like because when we start to trust, like okay, I'm following this arrow here, that way it's taking me. You stop thinking. If AI always gives you answers, so obviously you should be using your brain as well. It's kind of like use it or lose it type of situation. And Yeah, well, building games and running a business is fairly complex thing. There's a lot of chances to use your brain even if you're using AI as a tool. Where I would not use it is like, for example, legal documents that are really big and matter a lot. So I wouldn't trust that AI did the document for me. I would check with an actual legal person and attorney on a big contract, like whatever investment paper or something, and on the kind of cash flow management side, I wouldn't like trust all my all my calculations to be with AI. As two examples.
So at the beginning, right, when AI give the answer, I was like, okay, but nowadays, right, AI giving this so great next step. Do you want me to do this, right? And at the beginning, I was like it, and then later I found that I was just following what the recommendation they is actually. And I found out that actually, I'm not using my analytical skill or critical thinking at all. And I feel like I might become stupid actually. So I just follow them. So nowadays, I'm not relying on any decision making by AI. I'm asking for pros and cons provided to me, even I'm challenging. Why this is poor? Explain to me. And then if we recommend the next step, I'm challenging AI. So right, I want to let them know that you are the tool, not me, actually. So if I recommend one thing, don't ask any decision by AI. Don't recommend it. Can you let me know what kind of the clothes I'm wearing? No.
We have a situation like months ago. One of our guys on the meeting with the customer said, okay, let's ask AI which kind of possibilities we have on what we can do. Let's find, so like, it's not going to work, never. Says that, one more time, we will not work together. This is not the way that AI should think about it. AI can, like, the proof of concept is extremely good. Like, you can verify your idea, but if you do not have your own idea, AI will never generate it, and you will just become a slave.
Do we have another question?
The graphics aspect was already mentioned, how it's easily recognizable, but do you think there's a risk that using AI as largely as it is currently might actually flatten the business at large? Everybody starts using the same methods and stuff like that, because I already see many mobile games being advertised by clearly AI-generated advertisements, and that is easily recognizable because the art style is so similar. So I would like to hear your opinions.
I totally agree with what we call the digital situation, actually. Because AI is enabling us to create a lot of app easily, a lot of content, music and video, marketing content easily. Problem is, right, I'm marketing manager, for instance. So easy, improving, I can create content very easily. Not me only, everybody. And everybody creating marketing content, cheaper price and faster. That means my marketing is not efficient anymore. So it's not competitive anymore.
Yeah, you need to stand out, and usually, like, you need graphics and any image that has a soul in it can stand out. On the other hand, though, I'm hoping that AI can also help us bring out maybe new game concepts, that something that was hard or difficult to create before, maybe now we can get, like, somebody innovates a new kind of a game mechanic that is fitting for this time, and maybe the graphics are not by the AI, but maybe the whole game mode or plan is somehow AI enhanced in the process, that we because things are moving faster, we can probably innovate, and maybe there's actually indie teams can create some new successes by innovating with AI.
At least I do not see that the good graphic designers will not be needed. Like, I've been really impressed maybe 1 year ago about AI images, but when you see it for the third time, you think, oh, crap. And you ask, can we do something which not look like AI? AI can help, and I see that it's helped in the design, but it will never create this unique beauty and this personal feeling of the designer. Like, and I will think, like, more and more we will be looking for the actually created by the people, the design, because it's look so close for us.
Alina actually said in her presentation actually, human providing actually and creating. And he was saying in the panel like the AI model is in the statistics, right? In the end, in statistics, we exclude outliers. The worst one and I got the so good that out of the range one, right? So human is actually, some human is our range one. They are the one beating the AI in creative as well. So those kind of things, human can win over actually.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We need to wrap up. I saw that there were some questions, but the speakers will still be there. We are going to have a short 10-minute break. You can network, get a cup of coffee, and we are just going to continue in exactly 10 minutes. Thank you. And if you had a question, sorry, I had to interrupt, but you can talk to the director. Thank you. We'll be back soon.
No se liittyy vähän, että ketä tänne yrityksiä on tulossa, niin tulee tietää.
Okei, niin.
Molemmin päässä on
Joo.
You do.
Like I had consultant jobs.
Okay.
Just a short term.
Some sound.
I think I was great for
So let's let them figure it out.
I think Poland is from somewhere because the mainland there are a lot of hotels. Yeah, not that is nearly 250 or 300.
Doesn't come? Yeah. More?
Yeah, put it out.
But now it's there, no?
Yeah, this computer. But it's not this. There's sound.
Yeah, or
build the technical capability to punch that hole and make an information, and then the agent can do that work for us. So, sort of making that more concrete. If we have our game economy spreadsheet, well, how about let's do the technical authentication dance so the AI can actually read this thing, otherwise you'll always be guessing what our policy is like, for example. Or, if I look at this very, very simplistic diagram of what a game's backend might look like, the interesting thing is that humans need monitoring and logging tools. So hey, let's punch some holes into these tools. Like, we already have this stuff, let's just expose it. But the word just is doing a lot of heavy lifting here, but still. And what it's been kind of, for a normal human, what it looks like at the end of the day is something like this. I can ask, does MetaPlay support in-app purchase analytics? The answer is yes, but the agent doesn't know that. So then in this case, I'm using Claude. They have this concept of connectors. We have a connector that exposes all of our documentation. Now when it's answering this, it's not trying to get that answer from A, Google, or B, hallucinate it from its own model weights. No, it can actually go into our docs and search it and give me the authoritative answer. That's what I want, right? This saves so much time. So can I expand this to whatever you are doing? It really works. And then from a log diving point of view, I like this. Again, I'm in Claude. So I'm asking it to log dive into our environment and it does some query, finds some logs, analyzes the logs for me. Nice, thanks. That will take me half an hour. You can do the half an hour on my behalf. I'll look at the results. Right? So all of that was exploration. We're exploring now for you. Then, agents need fast iteration. So the point here is that if I use an analog, one-shotting a task with AI generally doesn't work. So if you ask it to do something, it takes one step, and you expect it to arrive at a good quality conclusion, generally does not work. The way agents do it is through hundreds or thousands of small steps, so they can sort of course correct. And if each one of those steps takes half an hour, then we're looking at like days for one task to complete. We don't want that. But if one of those steps takes half a minute, okay, we're in business. Now we can do something in half an hour or an hour, right? So speed really, really matters in our company. And not to call out Unity and Unreal by name, but like, oh my God, they're slow. Right, pressing that play button is a nightmare one. So we need to come up with something to sidestep this. You do you. What we've done, that may or may not apply to you as well, is that we actually, architecturally at MetaPlay, when you build games on top of MetaPlay, the game logic lives outside of the engines. That they become pre-compiled DLLs that get linked in. So then we can actually write and compile and test the game logic without running the editor at all if you want to. And that is roughly 1 billion times faster. Like super scientific. It's such a big difference. Ask me later if you're interested. But that's like fundamentally enables this loop. We built our own lightweight or even headless clients to play the game. So usually instead of having an agent open up Unity and press buttons, it might have a CLI, and the CLI is able to play the game in a headless mode. So the agent is able to just like fire 1,000 commands of the game and like maybe navigate to a portion of the game and try and see if some guild bank system works if 2 players try to do it at the same time while the thing is expiring, but you're trying to read at the same time. Do all of that. Suddenly it's able to do it. Building these kind of trivial, like it might take a few days. And then finally, hot preloading and over-the-air updates that you're hopefully kind of doing anyway, suddenly are massively more valuable, right? Because you don't even need to boot the game, rebuild and redeploy. You can just patch the game live and have the agent do the patching for you and iteration loops. So I don't have a lot of good images of this stuff, right? Like mostly it's headless. But as an example, this is one of MetaPlay's dashboards where we do live ops, and you have a calendar view, and you can make events and move them around and so on. So, hey, brilliant. So we don't have to rebuild Unity, we don't have to rebuild the server, we can patch new data into the server, create new events, and they activate instantly, and now we can have that iteration loop go much faster. So it's sort of the same thing as humans, but let's do the same thing for agents. Big deal. And third one, and these all combine together. Agents need what I'll just now call guardrails.
or maybe grounding is another word for it. And this is very difficult to put into concise words, but we all know agent and AI outputs are stochastic, they're random, they might be wrong, and the underlying math of it, without getting too deep, is that the gradient descent algorithm, right, states that as long as we take small enough steps, and enough of them, even if the steps themselves could be wrong, you will, mathematically speaking, end up course correcting, right? So we need a way, as we take those small steps without fast iteration, we need a way to give more feedback to the agents and say, what you're doing is wrong. Like the thing doesn't feel good anymore, or you broke some of our validation rules, like this is not how we do our economy. So we need a way to basically reject invalid attempts that the agents do, or they start accumulating. If you're good at doing that, then the agent can go very, very, very far. And obviously, the simplistic way how we do this as humans is that you ask Bob. It's like I do this thing and I show it to him after, and maybe he says yes or no. But that doesn't work now because he can only give feedback like 3 or 4 times a day before he gets real mad at us. And we need to give this feedback about every half a minute, night and day. So we need a much, much faster iteration, and that just means we have to automate. There's no other way of winning this than to make more automatic validation. Again, you do you. Some of the things that work for us. A lot of unit testing on the game logic. I very rarely, if ever, see game studios do this. But with agent decoding, it's suddenly viable. You can actually test your game logic. It's pretty good. Just put so much effort, put like half of your effort into coming up with better linting and better static validation tools and whatever that means for you. Like Rosalind code analyzers in the C# that works wonders. The usual stuff, right? Like your error messages, are they actionable? If it just says, hey, something went wrong, unknown error, try again. Agent doesn't know what to do. But if the error actually says what to do, then the agent will solve it for you. So again, it'll just go further, continue solving the problem. And then even writing custom preview agents. Now this is very up and coming stuff. You know, our company hasn't even released anything on this, but we actually have a lot of success having one agent produce stuff and another agent be aware of gotchas and race conditions and like design patterns, and then critique the results of the first programming agent from sort of fresh context. So you can have the agents fight each other for a time, and we see consistently that produce pretty good results. I'm not talking about full autonomy, I'm just talking about before I read the PR or before I read the suggestion, I'll just have the preview agent read it first and get the obvious purpose out, and then it'll be easier for me after that. Practically, what that might look like is that we at Metaflavor build our own CLI that kind of wraps all of the building and deploying and validating. So the agent basically says, try to build, and then the CLI does whatever. The agent doesn't have to know all this. It's just like run the builds, run the validations, and then it's kind of easy to set up. And let me just like recap all of this so that I can hold the stage. Agents explore context, they use tools to do the thing, and then they get rejections, and they explore, and they do, and they get rejections, and that's the loop, that's the agentic loop. And now, your job as humans, doing something here, is to improve the context, make your tools faster, and automate more and more and more validation, right? This is what I would call agentic engineering, what you might be doing. Sure, it's always programmers, but you can imagine this as a designer or other roles. Your job is to run this loop better and figure out how to make this better. If you can, if you're good at this, then you're like in the top 1 percentile of the universe at the moment. And that's how your studio and maybe you as an individual will stand out and hopefully be in this market. That's me. Hey, ask me questions later.
Time for one question.
Oh, really?
One of our speakers is just in the taxi.
Fair enough. So, challenge me. Throw me something hard, something embarrassing. Any questions? There's one. Yeah, sure, I'll repeat.
So, what if the price of AI
Sure, okay.
right?
Sure, okay, so the question is, what if the price of the AI is the price per token goes up by, let's say, 10x or something? Yeah, that could be reasonable. Sure, okay, so I'll give you a guardrail of what can happen. So let's say yesterday night, because I'm sure you, like me, were like on your phone doom scrolling the latest AI news. Last night, I believe it's the Alibaba company, the Chinese models, I forget who's the parent company, when released a new local model that is lightweight enough that it runs on consumer-grade GPUs. That model, based off of benchmark that seemed reasonably good enough, would be as good as the best models were half a year ago. And that's now Apache 2.0, and you can run it on your own GPU. Which just means that the cost of that will be the same as the cost of your electricity forever from here on out, and nobody can take it away from you. So at least you can say that if you're okay with the current level of intelligence, you can trust that you will always have access to it, and nobody can mess from that. And I think that helps in terms of grounding the competition out there, that they will always want to be competitive with this option, and if they 10x their prices, maybe people will move to other alternatives. So that brings me home. Good question.
Thank you, Teemu, and we'll continue with the program. Thank you very much. The floor is yours.
Hello. Oh, you can hear me. Great to be here. Interesting audience. I usually do a little bit of before I introduce myself, I do a little bit of who's who. How many of you are programmers? Raise your hand. You. How many of you are designers? You. How many of you are artists? Some. How many of you hate AI? Awesome. My favorite crowd. I'm Tatu. In my previous life, I was a senior art director at Rovio. I was there for 11 years. Before that, I was at Remedy, Digital Chocolate, to name a few. I have my background in traditional arts. I love art. I love games, but I also love technology. I've always been curious about technology. Actually, I've been curious about everything, but that's another story. We founded 6 months ago our current company, All Patents. I'm occupying the CEO position. I have one other person with me, my CTO, Jorge. We both worked at Rovio together. We both worked on AI prior to founding this company. But our company was founded on this very simple idea that games are too time intensive and risky. And what it has led to is that all the innovation has died, games have become formulaic, everything is repeating itself. The last time I saw a truly novel game was probably in the 1990s. Since then, we've been repeating the patterns. And it's even worse on the AAA. Think about any FPS for example. When did you last time see innovation in one of those games? we wanted to condense the time it takes to make the kind of games that we were making at Rovio with a team of 70 and 2 years. We wanted to condense that time into 2 weeks and 2 people. We started our company in October, so we've been now 6 months doing this. We wanted to have a demo that we could demo at Slush. We did it, and we wanted to launch our first game at the end of the year. And then we wanted to kind of keep on going and explore where to go after that. So Solo Tile came out at the end of last year. For us, it was a huge triumph, not financially, but being able to actually launch a game in this time frame with this tech stack